us through what you think the failings and questions are as a result of Jason's report.
I think that the failings and questions are numerous. Firstly, I believe there's been a total breakdown in the accountability process. I know that the policing minister mentioned referring this to the IOPC. The IOPC have been aware of this since 2021, and their response has been to refer this back to Greater Manchester Police to investigate. Now, having seen Greater Manchester Police's press release, that raises questions to me about their investigation. What they say is, whilst there's an investigation going on, there is no evidence that any GMP officer has committed any misconduct or criminal offence. That seems to suggest that they're predetermining the outcome. The next problem is this matter was referred to Manchester's Lord Mayor. Manchester's Lord Mayor has responsibility for oversight of the police service. The correspondence, and there was lots of it, was quite dismissive from the Lord Mayor, or Lord Mayor's office, and again referred back to Greater Manchester Police. And they seem to take the position that GMP have said there's nothing here to see. The next phase is complaints to the Information Commissioner about GMP's response to the subject access requests. And again, they took no position. So for me, there's been a total breakdown in the accountability process, and so many questions are raised.
OK, so when you say the Mayor, do you mean Andy Burnham?
It goes to Andy Burnham's office, but at the time, the person, the Deputy Mayor was responsible, that's Dame Bev Hughes. And I've seen correspondence from her office, which again seems to be dismissive and referred it all back to GMP. OK, well, we'll get them on the phone, see what they have to say.
Talk to me about the footage. Some of it is missing, and the footage that we have seen has no sound on it. So 2 questions there. Should they be able to hand over all of the CCTV footage, and should there be sound on it?
First of all, the sound. There should be sound on the footage, especially in the custody office. The purpose of CCTV in the custody office is to protect both the officers and detainees, and it should record video and audio. I'm alarmed that there is no audio, and there must be an explanation for that, but that's never been put forward. The second question...
Go on.
Yeah. In terms of, well, if you ask your question, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what about the missing footage? Where is it?
Well, the missing footage, and that's a really good question, because there have been numerous requests, subject access requests to Greater Manchester Police for all footage. Now, numerous officers have said, we have all the footage, we've seen all the footage, yet they only release footage that doesn't provide any evidence. If you go back to the scene of the arrest, they only provide evidence of CCTV from officers not really involved in the arrest. The arrival at the custody office, which is vital, that's not been provided. There are too many breaks in the footage that are provided, and the way they provide it was, I believe, possibly intended to make it more difficult to view, because it was provided in small segments, not contemporaneous, not in sync. So it just made it difficult to view all the footage.
You used to be a custody officer, I believe, Martin. What processes have been followed here and what processes have not?
I've gone on record of saying this is probably the worst custody record I've ever seen in my life. Now, bear in mind, I was a custody sergeant, and as a patrol inspector and as an operational superintendent, I had responsibilities under PACE. There are so many things wrong with this custody report. There is no explanation as to the grounds for the strip search, and I stand by it's a strip search. There is no explanation as to who was involved in the strip search. The footage does not correlate with the CCTV and the custody record. There's so many gaps in the custody record, it's untrue.
The layperson would potentially think, given that there are 2-hour gaps in this tape where Zayna, we have to say she's not a saint, you know, she allegedly assaulted a police officer. Yeah. We saw that on the tape, but she says that she feels that she was raped by more than one officer. We haven't got that CCTV footage. A layperson might think that's because Greater Manchester Police have got something to hide. Why would they be wrong in thinking that?
They wouldn't be wrong in thinking that. So as a professional person, as an ex-professional person, I feel the same. When the allegation was first made to me, I thought this is a fantastic allegation in terms of wow, but very, very easy for GMP to disprove because they've got CCTV from body-worn cameras and the custody office, which should account for the moment of arrest to the moment of release. And to be in a position where 2.5 years later, all the key CCTV has still not been released raises questions to me. So I, along with lay people, suspect that there's something underhand going on.